we have taglines?
Yes. Not on IMDb, but I did happen to find one on the DVD cover box art.
So it's great.
Yeah, it's a winner. Okay. A new breed of action hero.
Well, that would be true if there were any action in this movie.
Right? There's like 2 pieces of action.
It's titled Karate Dog, and there's maybe 2 karate fights.
It's more just like talking dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only tagline I could find, and it's probably because
Chocho.
Yeah, there's
It's because of Chocho.
Oh, what a stupid name. But we'll get to it. We'll get to everything that this movie has to offer, which is no budget that I can find to report, no gross that I can find to report, which makes sense, and because we don't count DVD gross. This only came out on DVD. It was it was a made-for-television movie.
There was a lot of gross in this film.
Yeah. It was a made-for-television movie that originally aired on ABC Family on Monday, May 29th, 2006 at 7 p.m. Okay? So it never made a theatrical release, so there's no gross to report.
Well, that's good.
But what we do have to report, here's the rundown, ladies and gentlemen, 2 karate dog fighting scenes. Over 20 talking dogs, 1 dog driving a car, 1 dog badly parodying a Mission Impossible scene, 1 talking cat, 1 statutory rape dog joke, 2 poorly parodied Matrix ripoffs, 1 electrocution, 1 dog singing Chantilly Lace, 1 dog playing drums, 1 dog playing cello, 1 dog playing a piano, and 1 out-of-place country twang end credits theme song with a 2.8 on IMDb and no Rotten Tomatoes score, but a 25% audience score, which means not even the audience was supportive of it. Usually on Rotten Tomatoes, at least the audience score is a little bit better.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2005's Karate Dog. Let's drop some bombs.
What's so funny?
Who are you, stupid dick?
This is Sky Captain. I'm on my way.
Okay. My ultimate weapon. Super Mick. What's that
It looks like the monster is something real big. Where is it? Darlings, you have made your mother very proud.
Welcome to Bombs Away, the only podcast recorded inside a projection booth. Joining me in the studio, as always, is...
I had something, but you didn't introduce yourself.
Oh. Damn it. I'm Jonathan, and I'm joined in the studio,
As always.
by my co-host,
The dog that
Mr.
started talking that you wish never would have.
yeah.
Jarrett.
Oh,
Welcome to
man.
Mountains Away. Joining me in the studio as always. I was like, wait, where did you go?
You know what it is, bitch. Yeah.
And just like the movie, you know what it is, bitch.
It's right.
Literally, like, as you start watching the movie, you're like, Karate Dog. Okay, there's probably going to be, like, a little bit of racism just because of the word karate. And then you start watching and you're like, oh, great, there's a secret serum. This is going to be handed back and forth between the company that wants it and the people that don't. Then you're like, oh, great, a guy died. The dog's talking. He's probably going to avenge that death. And then you're like, oh, great, a stupid guy. Oh, great, Jaime Pressly. Which I was like, I just want to watch Jaime Pressly forever because I love her to death.
Okay. So...
But everyone else in this film, I was like, get off the stage. You could predict everything.
And that was the plot. Basically, okay.
Get off the stage was the plot?
Yeah. Yes, please. Just everybody get off the stage.
Yeah.
Let this movie end. This is not, in my opinion, the worst film we've ever done.
No.
Okay?
There
That
at
still
least are-
still is Son of Mask. Fuck you, Jamie
Yeah.
Kennedy. Always and forever.
Could you imagine if it was Jamie Kennedy instead?
Oh, I can. It would have been equally as
Yeah.
bad because Simon Rex is just a knockoff Jamie Kennedy who never got as big.
His name is Simon Rex, and his best film was Scary Movie 2. Three.
Three.
Scary Movie 3.
Yes.
Three.
He's
It's three.
Joaquin Phoenix in Signs part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he parodies in that. But then he's Eminem in Scary Movie 4. Like he's
And that's the 411 on that. That's phone repair.
I haven't seen past that. I never saw 5, but I think he's in it.
Well, number
too.
3 is what I just quoted. Number 4, I watched like
Number 4
once
is
or
like
twice.
War of the Worlds parody
Yeah.
a lot, right?
yeah.
See,
And
this
then number
is
5 I never saw because it doesn't involve Cindy
well. It also
or Brenda.
but they're like secondary characters even
In 4, yeah, they are.
yeah. Like, it doesn't matter anymore because that's where it goes off the rails, and it's not even about scary movies
Yeah.
as much as it is like attacking anything.
Well, it's just like popular movies at that point.
I and I hate it because
Although there is a really funny part where they mock the village and Brenda goes, "This is some shit up with will we not put?" Because she's trying to talk
You
like them
just
because they
love
all
Brenda.
talk. Yeah. Oh, Brenda's my favorite thing in the world. Cindy, the TV's leaking. Oh, great. Another little whitey fell down the well. The whole world got to stop her.
no, I've said it before, and thank God that this movie actually didn't go into that realm.
Yeah.
But Scary Movie 3 and on, and then all the other ones: Date Movie, Action Movie, Epic Movie.
Date movie is pretty good. Scary Movie
hated
3
it.
was pretty good.
Date Movie's the last time that I fell for any of that bullshit
Oh,
in the
that
theater.
it was the last one I ever went to, but
Yeah.
I actually kind of just barely liked it.
Oh God.
Just barely, just barely.
It had like unnecessary Kill Bill references.
But
and
I was either middle school or early high school when I
That's
saw it, so
why.
that's probably why I loved
Yeah.
it. I was like, that
No.
dating. It's weird.
one of my kind of standards. I actually thanks. Yeah,
welcome.
you have none. One of my actual rules that I put out there. I actually just recently asked you for April Fool's Day to watch Back to the Future,
Yeah.
right? And what'd you think of it mostly?
I can understand
Okay.
where the phenomenon for it comes from,
Yeah.
but like for me, it was just like, I don't know. I didn't watch it growing up. I'm like not from
Sure.
any of those eras, so like it's not a lot for me. But then I also like for some reason I just had a massive, like inability to suspend disbelief for that movie.
Okay.
I don't know why.
All
I
right.
was like, come on, time travel, really?
I
No,
think they
like,
get it right
literally,
pretty
yeah. I
pretty
was like,
good.
they
It's
do it
where the
really
second
well,
one
yeah.
actually kind of goes off the rails a little bit, but I love that one too. But the reason I brought it up is because one of the criterias I feel for a movie is to be better than what we would probably do on this show is that it is something that's a little bit timeless. Like
Yeah.
no matter when you watch it or how long it be, like you watched it, what Back to the Future is 85, so
Yeah.
it's over 30 years
Yeah.
old, right?
33, I guess.
yeah.
32.
And you could still watch it, and it still makes sense because
Yeah.
and most of even the references, you're like, well, even if I don't understand that reference, it made sense in its time, and it's still
Or there
1980.
were context clues, you know?
Right. And it was like it was set in 1985. It was made in 1985. So even you're like, well, I don't understand why that's popular now. Yeah. Like why are they so upset about it being a DeLorean kind of thing, right?
I was just really surprised that his parents were like almost 50 and he was 17.
Yeah, their makeup is a little odd.
Yeah.
in
like,
the right. But you also forgot that he had siblings. We already had that conversation.
Wait.
You were like, it's 1985. He goes back to 55, so it's like 30 years.
Yes,
and
but
you were
at the
like,
same time,
why
like,
is he not 30? And I'm like, because
he's about to turn 17 and his parents are about to, well, I'm about to turn.
That makes sense.
I'm a few years away from 30 and my parents are about
Yeah, my
almost there.
my
They're
brother's
60s.
7 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just was connecting all the other stories that you told me about
Oh,
your
yeah,
brother,
yeah,
so I
yeah.
was like, wow. My older sister's the one with all the no. So that's why I was like, younger? Wow.
All right. So
And
basically
he's not single, right? He's not gay.
No.
I'm kidding.
my,
You're like, no.
no. My point being is
We're
that-
talking about Karate Dog.
No, it's gonna get there. I swear. Is that for a movie for me to like transcend what we would do on this show? I believe has to stand the test of time. Meaning,
Yeah.
like you can sit it down in front of your children and they'll still get 90%. It's got to be like 90% of the jokes, right? That goes for like any of the Star Wars, like Ghostbusters, all that kind of stuff. Like, I believe that you sit it down in front of anybody. And then you watch these scary movies or the date movies, the epic movies, and they start doing jokes of like Tom Cruise jumping on a couch. Yeah. And you're like, how am I supposed to explain that was a thing? You know, like, I can't. It's going to be hard to explain why Shaq and Dr. Phil are in a Saw reference in the beginning of Part 4.
Right.
You know? Like, why are these people important? They're not. You know, it was like stunt casting.
Cultural phenomenon.
So when we talk about stunt casting, and the reason why is, like, you try to figure out, like, why are the actors that are in this movie? Yeah. And what's unfortunate is that the IMDb and the Wikipedia and everything for this was bare bones for answers. I had no answers. There's no making of DVD commentary to be found on this or anything like that. This movie stars Jon Voight as the villain, Jaime Pressly as the love interest, Simon Rex, who at this time would have been an up-and-coming star.
Yeah.
Right? And then Pat Morita of Mr. Miyagi, Karate Kid Parts 1 through 4 fame. Okay? So that's your... And we haven't even mentioned...
Chevy Chase.
As the voice of the dog.
Yeah.
Which is the most... I don't know... It doesn't work at all.
And Lori Petty, who played the voice of Patty Mayonnaise from Doug.
Yes. Lori Petty, which was the love interest from Point Break. And,
sure. Those two, too.
Yeah.
No,
Lori Petty.
She's got stuff.
She plays the voice of Collar in the movie, which is all right. We should just get into the movie, right? Yeah. So Lori Petty of Free Willy and Tank Girl and things like she.
A
is
League
Tank
of Their
Girl.
Own.
Yep.
So, a really tragic story. I'm just a terrible guy. I need to watch A League of Their Own, because I never have. But it's got Madonna. It's got...
Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell.
Gina
it's got
Davis.
Lori Petty. Gina Davis.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess I won't list off any more characters, because you will.
Yeah, because it's good.
It's got a great cast, and so I just need to... But also Gina Davis.
We played it at the Frida last month.
Great. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah. Shameless plug. So... Here we go.
That's what they called me in college. Shameless plug.
All right. So basically, Pat Morita is playing Chin Lee. And Chin Lee is apparently running down the street, and I guess he's playing Master Splinter before he got changed into the rat, because he's carrying around a vial of ooze.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately is the same ooze color and vial from Ninja Turtles 2.
He steals the vial from, like, some secret vault room, and you're like, oh, no. But he just, like, punches a control panel and is like, the door is like, you broke me, I guess I'll open.
Thank God nobody's actually seen this movie, or everybody would know that there is a giant weakness in digital code locks.
Yeah.
Basically, you just karate chop it, and it comes open.
Well, the other weird thing is that he, like, has to break into, like, a super secure, like, computer base refrigerator, essentially. But then later in the movie, they show, like,
it's just in a
normal refrigerator, like, not blocked at all, and there's, like, multiple vials in there. So it's like, why did you have to break into there to steal one when you could have just gone to their break room and taken it out of the fridge that gets cleared out every Friday?
He didn't know.
Like, so stupid.
Your stuff will be thrown out.
Yeah. Do not take other coworkers' lunches or someone's secret vial recipe.
That's theft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, is anybody going to use this green ooze?
Yeah.
Can I put it in my coffee?
Is it for dressing?
Yeah. So he goes back to his he works in a ceramic. No, he doesn't work there. He lives in a ceramic kindling.
It's
place.
like there's ceramics, but it's also kind of just like this stereotypical, like, air quotes around the word, like, Chinese antique shop. Like,
right.
It definitely is like, this is just retrofitted for this movie, and it's like, what seems Asian? put some lamps in there and then
Right.
throw a scarf over it. I don't know. Like, it's someone that just, like...
Didn't you see the
Yeah.
the Chinese symbol on
Yeah.
the door?
They just searched the word Asian, like, on Google, and then everything they saw on the first page was like, yes, put it
It's
in
got like
there.
a full kindling
Like,
fire
Asian
going
store, and then they just did that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one, like, actually got thrown into the fire.
Yeah.
But so, Chin-Li gets back to his workshop, his warehouse or whatever. He has the vial, and then he's, like, hanging out.
He puts the vial in a pottery jar.
Yeah, which you're like, okay, that's not going to keep it safe. And spoiler
it's
alert,
supposed to hide
it doesn't.
No, you know why it doesn't? Because literally,
Then he pulls it out.
when he's faced with the fact that people are on his doorstep, like a minute later, pulls it out.
Yeah.
Like you could
Instead
have
of hiding it among all the other jars.
where it already was
Yeah.
hidden.
I know. He's so dumb. But it's like the dog starts talking.
The
and
dog
you're
immediately
like,
is talking, right? And he's like, "I told you not to talk unless you're
he's
in
like,
the face of truth."
words
right?
are valuable. Don't waste them.
Yeah.
And the dog's like, well, that sounds pretty stupid. Like, the dog is like,
It is okay. Chevy Chase is lazily going through this entire movie,
Yeah.
and it is not the proper use of voice acting whatsoever.
No.
like
Not at all.
I don't even know who.
Like-
Nick Cage would have done better.
every line delivery, though, by Chevy Chase is just kind of like,
I'm a dog,
it's a witty response that you weren't expecting. it's
and
like,
also don't need or want because it's not witty. It's usually like. It's like it's like if we watched this movie and decided to do our own voiceover.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have a voiceover and they're like, just say anything, Chevy. And he's like, okay.
yeah. How would you respond?
Well, doggone it.
Yeah.
And they're like, try again. Doggone it again. It's that bad.
It's so bad.
It's not funny. It's not clever. Like now I understand. I said out loud what I believe everybody on the set of Community wanted to say at all times, which is basically just shut the fuck up, Chevy. Like it's not good.
Yeah.
It's really bad. So basically these guys walk in, they're ninjas. Ninjas come in, right? But only one person is actually in ninja gear.
Yeah.
He's in like there's like paper
They're
like plastic masks.
They're plastic masks that you can like find at dollar store or Hobby Lobby to where it's like paint your own mask for like your own little fun thing. And it's like
for like masquerades.
they cut like the jaw off it and then
then
somehow glued animatronics underneath it and then glued it to like their not even their ninja suit. It's just like a full body like blackout
I got
suit.
this. I got this. It's actually it's like a full like a ski mask.
Yeah.
Right? It's a ski mask that then they just glued this mask on top of it, and it actually is just glued around the jaw area. So he is actually like moving his jaw to talk underneath, right?
But he's like pushing a button.
He's pushing
on
a
his
button
neck
to be like a vocal decoder.
I am robot. You stole my stuff and I'm taking it back.
Cancer kills.
Right?
Because that's what's going on there.
I'll never smoke another cigarette again as long as I live. That hurt.
Yeah, right? And this is kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Right? Because this character, well, we know who it turns out to be, but this getup, this facade of this mask and this voice changing thing never comes back.
Ever.
Ever.
And I was like, okay, well, I guess we don't have a villain.
It's not a very good look, but it's not a bad one considering everything else is, So basically, Pat Morita gets into a fight with his henchmen, and he gets down for the count. And Karate Dog, Cho is his name. This annoyed me too because I had to keep typing Cho every time, and my computer kept autocorrecting. Did you mean Choo Choo? I'm like, that's also not something that you should be autocorrecting.
But a
me.
better name for a dog than Cho.
Literally anything.
Yeah.
or just Chew or Cho or I don't know.
So
or Chang Li.
Yeah. Mask guy does the 5 points of death or whatever it's called from Kill Bill and annihilates the Chun-Li. And the dog is hanging out with him and he's like, don't leave me. But it's not that sad. The dog just like, so you're going away now?
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I have to leave you, Jojo. Make sure you only talk to anyone that is worthy of the truth.
Something
and
like
Cho-Cho's
that.
like,
Yeah.
well, how do I know if someone's worthy of the truth? Like, that's just how, like, Chevy Chase kind of talks throughout the whole movie. Like, what do you mean? I was just trying to talk to him. It wasn't that bad. Well, I don't know. I'm just a dog.
Hey,
Like, that's how, like, that's,
Are you a-
I thought I
are you
was
a
just
keeper?
Chevy Chase in the room. Like,
keeper of the truth, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
like it is very much like him.
So you're going out for the truth, huh?
Do you get the right vehicle? But it's so, like, he doesn't even have sympathy in those parts to where it's like, someone's dying, act sad. And
Yeah.
Chevy Chase was just like, I
By the
kind
way,
of bummed that you're dying, but could you make sure that you fill up my water bowl? Is like
Yeah.
what a version of a joke would be to him.
right,
Like,
right.
so stupid.
Who's
So
gonna,
he dies.
Yeah, who's gonna clean up my
Right.
poop?
He calls the cops, and the cops are like, even on the phone. At
we
the,
did.
The gag.
We skipped, but like that's the funny part is that we actually skipped the point of this movie. We just skipped it.
The vial.
No, the fact that Karate Dog is a karate dog.
Oh yeah. Well,
right?
this is one of two times
one of two
he uses
fights,
karate.
right? Beginning
That's it.
and take a guess at the
Yeah.
end, right?
Very
so
final fight.
he actually stands up on his hind legs in the poorest CGI for a
Yeah.
dog I've seen since Scooby-Doo.
No, it wasn't bad Scooby-Doo CGI.
I mean, it was pretty bad.
In Scooby-Doo, no.
I mean, it's got the same flappy jaw thing
No, it
going
doesn't.
on.
So the dog in this, like, does the only lower jaw speak, where you just see, like, it's like they take that very front portion of their
Mm-hmm.
muzzle, and they just assume, like, if we manipulate that like humans' lips are manipulated, that's how dogs talk. And it doesn't actually use, like, the full jaw of the dog.
I imagine when Conan used to do it with, like, just the jaw that would, like, with the black open space behind it.
It's kind of just like that, to where it's just, like, it's literally only just that little front part, to where it's, like, if you put little lips on the very front of a dog's muzzle,
it's so
like, that's
creepy.
only what they use. And it's just like, boop, 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 boop. And it's like, you only always see little baby teeth. It's not using, like, the full jaw of the dog, which is what Scooby-Doo does. Don't test me on Scooby-Doo.
All right.
Scooby-Doo's better. And it was written by James Gunn. I'm still very upset that people are sleeping on that.
Also weird.
He's great. He's beautiful.
So now, yeah, he gets into a fight. He winds up biting the masked character, and then they all run away. They do have the vial. They got their vial back. And he calls. He's like, "Help! My friend's dying!" Right on 911, and they're like, "Your name, sir?" And he just hangs up. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's like, "I can't tell my name, or then I'll know who called."
Right? Oh, no, it was a dog.
Right? When they get here and they go, "What's the name of the dog?" and they say Choo Choo or Jojo. So now Simon Rex, as his name is Fowler in the movie, right? He's Detective Fowler. He shows up to the scene of the crime, and he's shown up with this, like, portable laptop computer type device, which
Named Collar.
God, is this movie about a talking dog or about a talking computer?
I don't, like, it's so dumb because it's like, you could have made it about both, and he could have, like, created the computer system after he got the dog, and maybe, like, that's how the dog talks, because Collar is a computer system and can translate dog. Like, that's what I, like, thought would have been better. Of,
I
like,
like
a
that,
movie
and
excuse.
then
But it also
Collar
seems like an overdone
trains
trope.
him in
No.
karate.
I think the dog just had that all in him
Okay,
already, but
so-
the dog just couldn't talk.
All right, Collar
That's
stands
my own
for
movie.
Criminology Online Analysis Research. So online, in my experience, is one word.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I understand what it's trying to go for, but it's like, like, agency, like, police and stuff already have systems like that.
Right.
Like,
Because
2006 isn't
basically
being
it
innovative
searches
in this.
police databases
Yeah.
all across the country, and it analyzes crime scenes.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it how does it analyze a crime scene? Because you never see it scan anything.
Yeah, that's
Like-
where I was like, he's not doing anything. Even when he's like, I need that evidence.
But
And
it's
they're like, "No, you
also
don't."
just
And he's like,
Alexa,
"Eh."
because later on
Yeah.
it's like, Collar, turn the lights on.
Yeah, it really is only Alexa.
So
Before the rename of Alexa.
right. So we are also introduced to Jaime Pressly's character, which her name is Ashley, and she is also a police on the force, and they know each other because he goes, "Oh, you're 3-4," and she's like, "What the hell's 3-4?" And he's like, "Third row, 4th seat over in our detective class." I'm like, that's not weird.
Well, so she brings up, she's like, "You taught my class and blah, 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 blah." And he's like, "Oh, you're seat 3-4." And he's like, "Yeah, 3 rows back, 4 over." To where it's like, she was just being like, "You taught me." And he's like, "I stalked you."
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, right?
"I love when you wore that pink shirt every other week."
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right?
Oh.
Yeah. It's a bit odd, right? So this is a part where, like, also there's like 2 other detectives who are the trope of just like white chicks. It's like there's your rival other detectives. They're always making fun of you,
jokey.
But they're not funny.
Yeah.
And then basically Animal Control comes to take Cho-Cho away, and
Cho-Cho runs out.
Yep. And gets in the back seat of... Why is it that all of our hero detectives in these kind of movies have, like, sick apartments and sick cars? Like,
I honestly don't think he makes enough money to do any of that.
No way.
So I'm like, no. And he's like, "I purchased this place and redesigned it."
He's living in an old, like, boat dock factory or something, but it also has, like, a bank vault for a bedroom door?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What?
I don't really get this movie, and I don't try to understand it.
And he's driving, like, a 67 convertible.
But, like, he and Cho-Cho the dog both talk about the car, like, anytime they talk about it, instead of being like, "Yeah, get in the car," they're like, "Yeah, get in my 67 convertible, red paint, and it's refurbished and looks really great." Like, they upsell the car, so you're like, something's happening to the car later. Surprise, the car gets drove into a lake.
Yeah. So he hops in the back of the Cho-Cho hops in the back of the convertible, and then Fowler drives home and goes to sleep not knowing Cho-Cho's in the back. Meanwhile, in the middle of the night, Cho-Cho decides to finally speak up or something, and wakes him up, and
he's like, "Well, you were the only one trying to find the truth."
Yeah, because he said, "I'm here to find the truth."
Yeah.
Like, literally, that's the only evidence that he has that this person is the person he should be talking to, because, like, in the investigation...
What if he went home with the guy, and the guy had, like, a massive drug problem? And he's like...
Well, this ain't the truth at all. This is just coke.
Yeah. You're just doing blow. You wanted to stay busy.
I gotta find the truth. Oh, God, I love the truth.
Truth smells so good.
Right?
But, like...
I have a nose for truth.
Then after that, it
I'm a dog.
Like, it keeps going.
That would have been way better. That would have been a way better movie.
Doing blow with a dog. Oh, great.
Right? So...
But, like, after this, it's like the movie gets...
Okay, so...
super predictable.
This is where... Okay, I wanted to point out that this movie was 2005, right? So it is trying to capitalize on a couple different references that we'll get to, right? But it's also basically straightforward. I'm not lying. Just like the entire plot is Turner and Hooch.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you've ever seen Turner and Hooch, you'll know that Hooch was a junkyard bulldog whose master was gunned down because he witnessed a murder from his next door neighbors, like at the boat docks, right? And then Tom Hanks shows up as the detective on the case, and he's like, "This dog might be a witness. I'm going to take it home." Now, Hooch does not talk in Turner and Hooch. It's a straightforward, like, here's a neat freak kind of, and this the thing is, like, there's no
slobbery and messy,
right? There's no discernible thing that Simon Rex's character is doing that would mean, like, I can't handle this dog, or I don't want this dog around. Like, it's just there, and he's okay with it, right? Yeah. But then that's all the thing. Like, fast forward in Turner and Hooch, same with this movie. By the end of the movie, there's one final, like, showdown with a gun, and the dog jumps in front of him and saves his quote-unquote master or best friend. You know, same shit. Same stuff happens. The only thing that's different is this dog talks, and sometimes he kind of chooses to do karate.
Yeah.
It's not even like there's so many instances in this movie in which the dog could have gotten out of a situation or helped the situation if he used his karate.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like that's the thing is, in that opening scene, he uses karate to help save himself and his master, but
not even successfully.
Right? No, not successfully, but at the same time, he picks and chooses only when I guess it's like financially viable for the movie to animate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. So, also during this first interaction where he's like, "You're a talking dog,"
Yeah.
right? You also have the dog, and this is the creepiest thing, right? Because it's not what a normal dog looks like on its hind legs.
No,
It's
like,
standing
they just, like,
taller, more
humanized
upright,
it. Yeah.
right? And it is creepy, and the animation for it's creepy, and I'm not quite sure why the dog wouldn't still decide to do dog things.
Yeah.
Right? Why was it in a bathrobe and a shower cap? And a shower cap? Like
it's you're all hair.
and it's brushing its teeth.
Just do it. Yeah.
And I don't get it, because the dog should still be dog-esque.
Yeah.
Right? It wants to be so humanized, right? And this will come back, right? The dog also he's like, "How is it that you can talk?" He's like, "Well, my master taught me," right? He's a master of like what do you say? Zen, right? He's a master of Zen, and he taught me how to speak English and talk like a human, right? And he's like, "Well, that's crazy." Like, and then he's like, "Well, what about when you talk to cats?" He goes, "Dogs have dog talk, cats have cat talk,
Horses
have
horse talk."
Right? Which does not apply later in the movie whatsoever.
No. Yeah.
All of that, they wrote actual logic for this.
And even cats
threw it out of the goddamn window. Because he's like, apparently all dogs are able to talk in this film.
Yeah.
All dogs are just able to talk, and he's able to understand them. Cats are able to talk too and communicate in between dogs. Like, none of the whole "my master taught me and it's a master of Zen" Buddhist-like thing that I was able to train and learn how to talk.
Well, there wouldn't be as many
that.
jokes if they didn't, if they followed the logic.
So you're saying that the jokes that were applied were jokes?
Yeah, I know. They weren't funny.
Okay, moving on.
So next day, Chocho is like, "Oh, we should go to this dog racing track because my master worked there and there's probably some shifty stuff going down there." And then this is when we get introduced to our villain and his family.
Ponytail McGee.
Yeah. And so, like, he's first talking to this, like, kind of older-looking blonde, and then, like, some younger-looking, like, robust dude comes in, and he's like, "I love you both as my children." And I was like, I thought that was his wife.
Right? Yeah.
Because she looks older.
She looks older
like,
than Jon Voight's actual child, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, right? I was like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah.
Like, very confusing. And then the whole thing is like he's betting on race dogs, and his race dog is always winning.
So I'll establish it here.
Yeah.
His name is Cage. Jon Voight's character is Cage. Cage is a pharma mogul, right, who has made his millions in the pharmaceutical business and also owns a football team and these dog race tracks. Okay? That's basically all you need to know.
It just sounds like something shifty's going on.
Yeah,
like, why would you need those three things together?
Right? And the
Pharmacies,
football one doesn't
and,
even apply. It's just something that's like brought up just to show how powerful and cool he is and popular he is within the city because he knows the mayor and everything else, right?
He's going golfing with the mayor.
He is dressed in like a weird like gi-esque suit or something, right? He's always wearing these weird Asian type suits, and there was a picture, an old-timey picture that Pat Morita had in the beginning of the film being like, "That's my brother and my best student." And I'm like, that's going to be the bad guy. That's exactly how Ninja Turtles went down.
Yeah.
Like, Master Splinter and Shredder were pupils together. You know? Like, everything is a tired trope, a tired rewash of something else we've seen that was better.
Yeah. So at Pharma, the detective, Fowler, he meets, oh my gosh, I forgot his name. Cage. He meets Cage.
Right, and
Cage
Cage
is like,
Jr., which
yeah.
is the guy who played Billy Bob in Not Another Teen Movie.
He did.
Yeah.
That's why he looked familiar.
Yeah.
And they're basically like, everything's fine, everything's great. Let's just make sure that, we're all doing good. Like, they just kind of write him off. And he eventually, he does. He kind of leaves. But at the same time, we have Cho-Cho talking with all the race dogs. And the race dogs are just having fun, doing good.
Yeah, no, this is the part that gets weird too. You just said like race dogs, okay? So
not like racism dogs. Like
Yeah.
the dogs are racing. They're
Right.
like running around.
yeah, so basically, they don't find anything really there. He talks to the race dogs, but they kind of give him little hints, but I don't remember exactly what it was. Right? But this is where you learn. You're like, oh, other dogs can talk too. It's
Well, they're like, oh, the lady that's doing really good or the dog lady that's doing really good on this racing, she is a newcomer, but she's amazing, and she's beating everyone like ninefold or whatever, tenfold.
oh yeah. Something Beauty or something.
Yeah.
Sunrise Beauty or
Southern Beauty.
What is it? Southern Beauty.
I think so.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
so then
she's won 4 out of the last 6 races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then they leave, and they're like, we didn't find anything. But then Cho-Cho's like, well, when the attacker was attacking my master, I bit his wrist.
Yes.
And so he has a bite on his wrist and a bandage. And then we see a car, like, leaving, and the guy, like, sticks his hand out of it, and there's a bandage around his wrist. So Cho-Cho's like, we got to catch him. We got to go after him. And then Cho-Cho decides that he knows how to drive and just jumps in the car and takes action.
Also, this is the part right before this where he's like extremely cat racist.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I hate cats. They're lazy. They take advantage of their owners. They're dumb,
Okay,
stupid felines and fluff balls. And I was like,
Once again,
okay.
also would have been good and funny if, 1, it wasn't delivered by Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
2,
There was more
there
cat.
There was actual like jokes related to like and who poops in the sand and stuff
Yeah.
like that, right? Instead, he's like, I'm pretty sure they're responsible for like the plague and World War II.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if anything, dogs weren't German Shepherds right next to Hitler? Like,
Yeah.
that was weird, right? Because that's not a joke, Chevy.
No.
That's not.
And that does sound like one of like his free line that they're like, just talk something. And he's like, I'm pretty sure they're responsible for this and this. And it's like, that's not funny.
I'm really starting to think that the whole world is right and that Chevy is an asshole.
Yeah.
And has not been funny since like Vacation Christmas.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Right? And he's only been funny because people wrote shit for him.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I remember, like, one of the most famous stories is that, like, 1, he was the first cast member of Saturday Night Live to actually leave Saturday Night Live within its first year.
Wow.
Right? Thought he was like, I'm going to be a big star. Fuck all you. Right? And then apparently every time he came back to host from then on, like, treated every cast member like shit and would not rehearse, and I just had this air of like undeserved stardom to him.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, this all makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
so when we're listening to these jokes now, you're like, oh, somebody is a fan of you and was like, just rip, Chevy, go ahead. And you're like, no, please don't.
Oh, God.
Right? So, yeah, back to your saying he hops in the car.
Oh, and then it's like, it's not even a car chase at that point. Like, they straight up lose the car they're following
there's
right
no
off the
car.
bat.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I can't control this. For some reason, the accelerator's stuck down. And it's not even like someone cut the brake line or the accelerator. Like, nothing like that ever comes back into play. It's literally just like, he doesn't know how to drive a car is what
Right.
it seems. And then, of course, because it's a nice car, it goes into a lake. It drives through a fence and goes into a lake. But somehow, there's damage on 180%
I'm so
of the
glad you
vehicle.
pointed this out. Okay,
Because, like, the back,
Why?
the rear end is dented in,
Okay.
the trunk's open, the doors are broken.
It goes
like,
down. It goes over like a crest and down a hill that could only be about a story tall.
It's
right?
literally, it's like
It's
from
one
the
floor
road,
tall.
not even that.
Right?
That's,
Maybe.
it's like a 6-foot
Right?
decline.
Enough that you can't see over the hill to see that there was a lake.
You could.
But You could.
No, there's no excuse for this. The car, like, even is like, whenever they show the car in the water, the hood is barely underwater.
Right.
And, like,
Yeah,
he's
so it's
still
not that
able to
deep.
drive the car.
But the
Like, the
point
rear-
of,
or
the
the-
point of the establishing that hill like that is to see that this car looks like it went down like an entire mountainside.
It looks like it
and
was
then-
involved in...
and then has been sitting in the lake for at least 6 months.
It looks like it rear-ended someone, and then someone else rear-ended them, and then they also got
they
T-boned.
threw it in the lake.
Like, too much damage for, like, oops, we went off the path.
I'm
and,
sorry,
like,
that's
now we're in
another
the water.
67
Yeah.
red convertible. Yours is actually in the lake.
Yeah. So stupid.
Yeah.
So then...
But he's not even angry at him. Like,
he's
there's
like, my car.
There's no scene where he's like,
Yeah.
why the hell did I let you drive? And why am I following you on this case? And, like, there's never this anger of being like, why am I even listening to a stupid
Well, he does
fucking
get
talking
angry at the dog, but after this next situation, this next trope.
You mean the romance scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Forced romance.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So they're, like, sitting outside of the station, and they're both kind of, like, bummed and looking around, and Jaime Pressly rolls up in a cop car and is like, hey, sorry to hear about your car. And he's like, no, it's okay. Like, it's fine. Whatever. And then the dog is like, you should ask her out on a date. It's a perfect time to ask her. And he's like, what? No. And he's like, fine, I guess I'll do everything for you. You want to go to the Rainforest Cafe and have dinner? Also, it's like...
It's called the Amazon
The
Cafe.
Amazon Cafe, but it's like a super high class, like very fancy
It's
restaurant.
just a lakeside restaurant.
And it
It's
should not have been called Amazon at all. It should have just been like Chateau Cafe.
It's
like,
on a golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's called Amazon Cafe. I was like, that's stupid.
Somebody just does not have their
But so...
theming down.
Yeah. Fowler, our main character, is like, I don't know how to talk to girls. What do I do? And Chevy Chase is like, leave it to me. I got this.
Right.
And then, of course...
There's a Rainforest Cafe out there called Prestige.
So...
Like, I'm all messed up.
So then they get there. The whole idea of the date is there's a walkie-talkie in his
Classic
ear.
Cyrano de
and,
Bergerac. Yeah.
He's just gonna feed him all the lines, and of course there's like he's distracted by a cake, he's distracted by a cat, like,
Oh my
and he's
God.
feeding him
Okay.
the wrong lines, and he's saying everything that comes into his ear instead of just like, why would he say that? And not saying what he said.
Okay. There's a difference between, like, when this normally gets done in films where maybe one or two things, like, is happening to the person on the microphone, but they actually comedically still kind of apply, where it's like, if you said that, or you were already in the moment of, like, a really beautiful speech, and then he said something off color, and you're like... he's like, your eyes are like a bear, right? Because it was like in the moment, right?
Yeah.
But that's not what's going on here. Like, Chevy Chase is just talking the most random bullshit in his ear. And so, like, he can't filter out what's good and what's bad at all. He hasn't gotten off to a good start. Why are you trusting this dog?
Yeah.
Also, why are you trusting a dog?
Yeah.
He's like, I know women. I'm like, how do you know
you don't.
women?
Yeah.
You've been, like, brought up by an old Chinese master
so-
who probably, like, hasn't ever had sex.
So we get
Like,
through the scene, and basically it all fails. Jaime Pressly leaves in a huff, and then
what does he
Fowler,
say to trigger that? Like, the final, like, something just like,
it's when he's trashing cats, I thought.
oh, yeah, I hate cats.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like,
I
they're
don't
stupid,
know.
and they're, I'm like, dude, why would you be saying it? Because the guy is not presented to be dumb.
Yeah.
He created this collar, like, type thing, and he's a detective. There's no way he would actually continually spit out, I hate cats,
Like-
right? And that's the problem with this movie. It's not silly enough to be believable when something like this happens, right? But it's not serious enough to ever be taken seriously. You know, like, that's a big problem, where you're like, instead of enjoying it and going along with the silliness as stuff like this happens, you're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, it
like,
doesn't add up. Ever.
yeah, I would understand if, like, this was Jamie Kennedy and he was portrayed to be a retard, and I'll say it, I said retard, like, that's fine because he is. Fuck you,
ouch.
Jamie Kennedy.
But then
We're
get
bringing
to,
it back, man. I told you, every episode we're gonna start just hating on him.
So then we get to the end of the date, though, and Chocho's like, he's like, why would you say that stuff to me? And Chocho's like, what? I don't know. I'm not good with girls.
Yeah.
Like, something along the lines of, like, what? I've never been on a date. Why would you trust me? And it's like, you literally said you've got this and you know what to do, you
Right.
fucker. Like,
Yeah.
would have murdered him myself. If I
He
could.
easily cops out just
Yeah.
like Chevy probably would.
Yeah. What? I'm not a comedian. Usually people write it for me. And it's like, oh no. And then, of course, he's
I
like,
just did
well,
pratfalls as
yeah.
Gerald Ford. What the fuck do I know?
he's like, Fowler is like, well, what do I do now? And Chocho's like, well, if it were me, I would chase after a car. But that's just because I'm a dog. And then he's like, Fowler's like, yeah, I'll keep taking advice from this dog
Yeah.
and chase after a car. And then he gets up next to her and he's like, I want to tell you, like, I love how smart you are, and I love your eyes, and I love that you talk, and I love that you're good at your job, and I love your hair color. Like, uses the word love, which is like, never use that.
No,
Whenever you're like
no.
on a first date or like an 8th date. Just don't use the word
We
love.
already used hate for cats, so
Yeah. And then he's also like describing things that are so basic about her, and it's like, you kind of don't know her that well. At least in the movie, it doesn't present you as knowing her that well. And then, of course, she's like, well, let's have like a new date then.
if they were classmates in the same like training class, that would have been one thing, because it's like,
But he's
yeah,
just
and
been a
we like
teacher.
interact, but yeah, you were the teacher, so
Yeah.
you're also probably a little creepier than you should be.
Yeah.
So yeah, then they have like a real date walking around the golf course.
Then Chevy Chase has a date with a dog, but then she's like not interested at all.
Yeah.
And then they go home, and she's like, you having a party? He's like, no, I left the TV on. Then a keg rolls out the
Why
door.
is he okay? Why does he continually lie to her?
And not even good lies.
No, and lies that where it's like, I don't know about any party. Let's go up and see. And
Yeah,
then she would have
invite her
seen the
in.
party
Yeah.
and then been like, what the fuck is all these animals? And then, I don't know, I guess you're going to have to be like, well, I'm Ace Ventura, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
But at least, you know,
Get
like
a witness.
something,
Yeah.
right?
So she leaves. He goes
Because he also
upstairs.
doesn't
Yeah.
explain the earpiece in his ear.
Oh, no, right?
She sees it,
there.
pulls it out, like pulls it off of him, and is like, you know, your words are better than whoever's been feeding you these lines, right?
Yeah.
I'd hurt the follow-up question as a police officer should be, who the fuck is feeding you
Yeah.
these lines, right? Because they're obviously close,
Both very bad at their job.
right? Oh my god! All right,
So he goes up to the party, and he's like,
something we didn't establish is that we did establish he will only speak to those who, like, he believes are in pursuit of the truth.
Yeah.
Right. So there has been a scene where he did try to get the dog to talk in front of his police
Oh,
chief
that
and the
doesn't really
detectives.
matter.
No, but it does, like, to explain like why he isn't like, well, the dog's been talking to me, right?
yeah.
It's basically saying, like, I'm not even going to... He doesn't
It's
try the
just-
same tactic
it's
because
an
he already
implied-
tried it.
yeah, but
That's
it's-
what I'm
it's-
saying.
It's an implied scene with this kind of movie.
Right.
To where it's like, you know it's going to be in there.
Oh, you
because
and
this
it
movie
was.
does everything.
It was.
Whatever
So-
you expect, this movie's already done.
Yes.
Literally did the earpiece bit, which is the stupidest bit for date scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
I've
right.
seen it better in Short Circuit too.
So
Like
Fowler goes upstairs to the dog party, and he's like, everyone out. Why would you have a party? Blah, this is stupid. Blah. And then...
it's basically like a scene from Dr. Dolittle,
Yeah.
right? With like all the animals are talking and like, haha, I'm gonna pee on your leg. You're like, why are okay, that's another thing in these kind of trope like of like talking dogs and stuff like that.
Someone
Like-
always pees on a leg.
Right, there's always like every other dog is like the douchiest dogs,
Yeah.
like actual party animals. You know, they're just like, ha ha, yeah.
Right.
Like there's a Rottweiler, like who's seducing two small tiny puppies,
Yeah, and then he's like, whoa, calm down. Oh, wait, no, that's later.
right?
When he's like, calm down. She's
Yeah, that's my
underage.
statutory.
I'm a teen in a week. And I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah, the statutory dog rape joke, because that's what
Molestation?
that was.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So then
God.
party gets shut down, but it turns out that Chocho was just like working his intelligence, and he was like, I was hosting a party so I
He's
could
full
get
of-
some inside
he's full of shit.
information. Yeah.
He's full of shit. But is he though? Like that's the thing is like you think is like he's not portrayed to be like a douchey dog who then learns a lesson and gains a best friend.
Yeah.
You know? He's not like some party animal, but he's also not like this like kind Zen master karate dog.
Yeah.
You know? Like so I don't ever believe it, especially when he does stuff like, what the fuck do I know? I'm a dog.
Yeah.
You know?
It,
Nobody told me about the trucks.
so bad.
So
They
all right.
they find out more race information, and it's basically like, oh, they've been feeding a secret chemical to some of the dogs to make them perform better.
Yeah, it's a
like,
performance-enhancing drug called Lot 99, right? Meanwhile, okay, no, this is that scene at the same time. So they're like, let's go infiltrate Cage dog race lab again, right? So he decides to put the dog in a SWAT jumpsuit and put him up through. Okay, backtrack. Hold on. First, he wears this weird beard disguise. He looks like Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
Right? And he puts the dog in a cart, right?
Yeah.
But he won't shut up.
Yeah, he keeps talking. And the dog's like, you should have let me steer. I should have worn the disguise. I could steer better.
Right.
You keep running me into walls. What are you doing? Hey, stop that. I should have been the person out there. And it's like, yeah, because a fully hair-covered object would have been not noticeable.
Yeah, a dog pushing a cart would have been worse.
Yeah.
Plus, you're giving away their ruse. Why are you even along at this point? Just stop, right? Because that's another thing. He's never proven to Fowler that he is a karate dog.
Yeah.
And that he could help in any situation.
Yeah.
Right now, he's just a talking dog, which Fowler never kind of questions on whether or not his sanity is in check.
Yeah.
Right? Because I would.
Oh, yeah. He goes along with it very easily.
So he puts him in a SWAT outfit attached to a rope and puts the dog up into the rafters, and this becomes the midway point scene of Mission Impossible 1. Where, huh?
I said, yeah.
Yeah. Where he goes through the ventilation ducts and then gets lowered down, but apparently the floor is censored, just like Mission Impossible.
But you don't even see sensors.
No.
You just kind of he's like, whoa, don't get me too close to the floor. There are lasers down there. And you're like, sure. So then he manages to swing him and copy a
How
CD.
does he swing the dog from another room?
Get it? I don't know. Maybe pulling up on the rope and then letting down, but that also seems like it wouldn't work.
That would just be up and down.
Yeah.
If anything, it's time for the dog to I don't know, swing all four limbs, and that would have been a little bit funny, right? So he downloads all the information on a CD, and then Cage is making a presentation, so they pull the dog up, and he hears the entire presentation about Lot 99, which Lot 99 is not only a performance-enhancing steroid, but it also is like the fountain of youth. It has turned Cage from he is actually 76 years old,
and he looks like he's 75 years old. He looks a lot younger, but at the same time it's you still look like you're old,
right? So he's like, we're gonna introduce this to the world, and
he's a little bit hyperactive, and he starts getting some weird rashes on his face.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Chemical burns.
So, all right. This is the part where then Fowler takes this CD and he goes to the police station.
Doesn't even check it first.
No.
I should review this information.
Yeah, because a dog downloaded it.
Yeah.
So he takes it to the police chief, which the police chief is throwing darts at a picture of his face, of Fowler's face.
Yeah.
Why? They've only had one interaction before. Why would he? Because he was throwing darts at his ex-wife's face in a prior scene. Now he's throwing it at Fowler's face. Fowler hasn't done anything to embarrass him or piss him off or almost get fired or anything.
And he actually, early in the movie, he's like, hey, Fowler, they're going to use your collar system, and we're going to get, an entirely new setup, a new station, a modern station. Mm-hmm. So it's Fowler actually has been doing a lot more than the other cops, and he hasn't actually been screwing them over. So we don't know why he's throwing darts at a face.
I don't know. But he's basically I've got evidence that Cage was involved in Pat Morita's murder, and there's this Lot 99, and it's going to poison everybody.
Yeah.
Right? So he's like, look, it's all in this CD. He puts the CD into the captain's computer, and a, Jurassic Park, Dennis Nedry, comes up, but it's Jon Voight. Meanwhile, also Jon Voight has a weird country accent for some reason, but it doesn't also apply with the fact that he is a karate master, and Jesus Christ,
nothing really makes sense. But
he looks like what Steven Seagal, I imagine, would look like in another 20 years.
Yeah.
He's got a ponytail, he's wearing a weird suit gi. And I don't know, is trying to be cooler than he is. But so yeah, this like virus comes up, which not only explodes. I didn't know viruses could explode, make a computer spontaneously combust.
And not just that. It could make every single computer attached to that network explode as well.
Right? That's some terrorist shit.
Yeah.
right
I was
there.
like, well, don't let that get into the wrong hands. That's way too extreme.
Jesus.
And then, of course, they're like, you're terrible, get out of here. But Jaime Pressly's like, I believe you. I'll help you solve everything.
Yeah.
So they decide to go back to, instead of stealing the information about Lot 99, to steal a vial of the drugs to prove it.
Yeah.
So they break in. Jaime Pressly is like there. There's a pretty shitty, stupid scene about like Jon Voight like dancing and being like, "Who gonna drink some of my potion? Lot 99 gonna have some of it."
Did the racetrack portion happen yet?
No.
Okay. All right. Is that coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like, I'm going to have, it's after this scene, but he's like, I'm going to drink some Lot 99 and feel young again. Like he's telling himself,
he's dancing around like a
he's
weirdo.
Explaining it.
Yeah.
So then, like, he puts it back in the fridge where all, like, other 18 vials are. But then Fowler goes and steals a vial, goes outside. Meanwhile, Cho-Cho's at the dog track, like, talking to Southern Comfort.
Southern Beauty.
Southern Beauty, yeah.
Which, this dog looked dead.
Yeah, that dog was old, decrepit, dying. And then he was like, hey, Grandma. Like, even called her Grandma.
There's 3 shots of the dog laying still, not breathing anything.
Yeah.
I was like, they're showing a dead dog
right?
on a family film, right? And then, just like with the weird jaw thing, it's like, help me.
Yeah. She's like, kill me.
Kill me. Yeah.
So we come to find out that the dog is actually only 2 years old. The performance-enhancing drug has just kind of wiped all of its vitality away. So we go outside. He hands the vial off to Jaime Pressly to go and find Cho-Cho, but Jaime Pressly gets kidnapped, and the cops are called, and they, of course, remove his gun. They remove his badge.
Yep.
Animal control comes and takes Cho-Cho.
Yeah. All that, just like any other trope. I'm not sure if the taking away the I don't think taking away the badge happened in Turner and Hooch, but it's happened in other
like
things.
That. You
right?
know, it's a cop trope where like, I'm taking away your stuff.
I'm
and
taking
then
away
it's
your
like,
friend.
I'm gonna solve the
And we're gonna put your friend to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, like
so
Jesus. Pretty sure the dogs. That's another thing too. Is like they immediately are gonna like euthanize Cho-Cho.
Yeah.
At the end. It's like no, the dog's involved in a ongoing investigation at this point.
Yeah.
Right? Like, even if they're not going to investigate Cage because he knows the mayor and he's like, you wouldn't want the mayor to, like, hear about all your bumbling antics here at the police force. And they're like, no, let's sweep this under the carpet. Even then, the dog is involved in now this ordeal. Like, you're not going to euthanize it that night because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, meanwhile, every dog, like, I don't know, Cho-Cho is like singing, and every dog has like an animatronic paw, like tapping to the, like they pan over to every single dog.
Stupid song, and then of course like the cat's the one to be like, "You done, you idiot," sounded terrible,
right?
And like,
meanwhile, the cat can fit through the bars easily.
Yeah, the cat's like, "No, I'm just here for fun."
Yeah, and so
then we get our racetrack scene.
Okay, you want to do it or should I?
Well,
Jesus Christ.
So Jon Voight, he's like, they're like, in number 1 we have this dog, and number 2 we have this dog, and then his son is out there and is like, what are we doing? Why are you holding a race? And he's like, I'm gonna show you how great this thing works. And he like gets in a dog kennel.
But he doesn't even say that.
Yeah,
he just he's just like, I don't think he's proving anything because he's like loony.
Yeah.
Right?
He's like, crazy at this point.
Yes, he's insane, just dancing around the racetrack as they put other dogs in their starting position boxes, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, I'm you know, it's basically like, I'm here to have fun, you know. And you're like,
compete.
what? And he goes inside the last dog box. And then they shoot the trigger, and the electric rabbit goes, and he's the first one out the box, and is leading the pack of dogs.
And he's like, "Come on, dogs, keep up with me!"
Right?
And they're like,
Why?
"Wow, Dad's crazy."
Right? And in a movie where we have talking dogs, why wasn't like two of the dogs like side by side racing, being like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's actual plenty of opportunity to be family friendly and funny in this film.
Cats and dogs did it better.
Way better. Damn it, we just admitted that we've seen that.
I loved Cats and Dogs.
Oh God.
So then, Fowler goes to the dog pound and uses another violent dog to threaten the dog pound owner.
Right,
to
and
break
that's
all
not
the other
fair
dogs
for that
out.
dog.
Yeah.
Those dogs are nice.
Those dogs are beautiful.
That's that's the Spuds MacKenzie type
Yeah.
dog. I forget what they're called, but they're like
Yeah.
it's a type of bulldog.
I thought it was a type of terrier.
Is it?
Bulldog terrier.
I
don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Lies.
Dogs, whatever.
Yeah. And then we
We're
also
cat
find
people.
that they find Jaime Pressly. He uses collar to locate Jaime Pressly.
That's another thing. This is another movie, just like, what was it, Sky Captain last week, where like somebody important to them has been kidnapped, but by the time they get there to save them, they've solved their own kidnapping. Like they've taken care of the problem.
So Jaime Pressly and like her confined room, which is really just like a locker room. I don't know. Like the henchman is there, but
and
so
his
is
daughter/wife is there.
Yeah. And she convinces the daughter, like, it's like, we can still save your dad. Like, he's crazy because he's taking this chemical. And she's like, you're right. And she's like, turns to the henchman and is like, let her go. But the henchman's like,
But
nope.
there's been no character development for this daughter/wife character prior to this. So
Has
this
there been
comes out of
character
left
development
field.
for anyone else?
Yeah.
No.
But this comes so out of left field where, like, she's never been conflicted, nor has she been on the wrong side of the coin or bad. She's just been there looking at other people in every scene.
Yeah.
Right? So there was
She
no...
just stood around.
Yeah, right? So she's like, let her go, and the henchman's with the bandage, right? The dog bite bandage is like, no, but Jaime Pressly actually got out of her ropes right at that exact moment, and then Jaime Pressly knows karate?
Yeah, and she knocks him out.
Right? And then it's revealed that
he has a burn on his wrist.
It's
He's
a burn, not the
actual
dog
killer.
bite, right? And then at the same time, Cho and Fowler show up, and this is at the same time as Cage is doing a presentation of Lot 99 to the public, right?
But he's also going crazy.
Yeah.
And then the dogs start attacking everyone.
Yeah, so, that's right. Cho, Fowler, and an entire van of dogs from the pound show up, right? And he makes them run loose. But it's also, like, not comedically, like, they just, like, run through. Like, they do pass by, and that's it, right? Like, it's supposed to be like, oh, dog antics. Dogs are everywhere.
And this is when we get our underage rape.
Yes. Yes. Okay, because I've said it enough, and I'm going to say it weird, so you describe it.
And, like, a dog is walking up, and there's a chihuahua, and the dog's like, hey, what are you doing later? And then Cho-Cho turns and is like, careful, she's underage. But then the dog goes, I'm a teenager next week. And I'm like, that means you're probably not a teenager.
She goes,
now.
I'll be 18 next week.
I thought you said I'm a teen
no,
next week.
she says 18.
Yeah, but
or maybe 18. But
because
still,
like a joke on how dogs age is like what I thought it was.
Yeah, but in that other scene with Southern Comfort, she goes,
I'm an old woman.
2 years old, and he's like, that's crazy. You should be like way older, like So what? This one's over here being like, I'm 18 next week, and that's not old enough for dogs. Oh my God, I'm gonna go to jail. She's not 42.
So we follow
So the jig is
Finley,
up. Cage goes up to the roof.
Yeah.
Right? And
Cho-Cho gets up there.
Cho-Cho gets up there. And this is where Cage reveals part of his motives of Lot 99. Do you remember this?
To make everyone not die?
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay. So he says, so no child will ever be an orphan again.
Oh, because he was an orphan.
Yeah, but who...
I don't know how that would help.
Is having children 80-year-olds?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, all of our parents die eventually.
Yeah.
Like, Okay, so when your parents die, are you going to walk around saying you're an orphan now?
No.
I think I might, just for the fun of it.
God, just because of this movie.
I mean, like, I was an orphan. They're like, what? But I've heard about your parents. Yeah, they just died.
They just passed.
Right? If Lot 99 was around, I would still not be an orphan.
Yeah.
But now I am. Right? That's what he says.
Yeah.
And
Very
that's a
stupid
weird
motive.
Right? That's a weird, like, insert this line here because that's what kids are afraid of line or something. I
think so.
Right? But that's his entire motivation. He actually says it out loud. And then they, like...
Matrix it out.
They reveal themselves, like, well, you both knew. He's the one that was bit. He was the one under the mask in the beginning of the movie.
Predictable.
And you're like, well, why was he wearing a mask? Like, who cares?
If you're going to kill him, don't wear a mask.
Right? Like, why was he wearing a mask? Like, because he didn't want Pat Marie to see him? Like, I don't get it. So, they square off, and they start showing off their, like, moves, right? And they just start breakdancing for no reason.
Yeah.
Right?
They even have a moment where they both, like, they hit each other, and they're in slow motion, so they're just hovering in the air, and then Chocho goes,
That's
now
another
for my
Matrix
secret
thing.
move, licking you in the face, and, like, just licks him in the face.
It's like karate chops with a tongue, right?
Yeah.
They do these like breakdance like square offs, and then like he winds up like leaping backwards and into the dumpster, which then he starts throwing trash at him, which then it does its first Matrix ripoff, which is slow dodging things that are flying in the air, and the things that are flying in the air even make the bullet ripple thing, like Neo dodging the bullets on the rooftop. Right? And we're like, Jesus Christ, like, how many times is a movie going to do that? Like, The Matrix, like, that thing was that huge that Scary Movie did it. What is it? Kung Pao did it. Like, Jesus. Like, it was everywhere.
It was just dumb.
Right? So at this point, though, 6 years after The Matrix came out, like... You can't keep doing it. I mean, at least when Scary Movie did it, The Matrix had been out for 6 months, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? Scary Movie 1 came out in 2000. Matrix was 99. So, then they do the other thing where, like you said, they dive at each other. Now, that's the same thing as The Matrix in the subway with him and Mr. Smith, where they dive at each other and the camera spins around them in slow-mo.
Yeah.
But this one, like, they spin, like, on a different
Around
axis.
them? Yeah.
Like, they spin, and the camera's like, I'm going to hold, you guys spin, now I'll spin, and now you guys spin again. And then he just proceeds to fall to the ground, and they have a couple more hits and kicks, and he does one final roundhouse move, kicks him in the face, and he's down for the count. But no, he's not.
Yeah.
He stands up and grabs onto like a loose piece of electrical conduit
I thought he
that's
like
on the
ripped
sign
it out of
or
the
something.
sign.
I don't know.
And was like, I'm going to electrocute you, but then he just electrocutes himself.
Just electrocutes himself as you would.
Yeah.
Right? And then falls down to the ground. And then Fowler and Jaime Pressly and Cage Jr. shows up upstairs on the roof to see that final like drop. And then Fowler's like, you're under arrest. And then out of nowhere, because once again, just like the other sibling, like their character motivations are not clear.
Yeah.
He just decides to be like,
Not my dad.
not my dad, and pulls out a gun, slow-mo, and shoots, and Chocho dies in front of Fowler and gets hit with the bullet.
Though Fowler throws himself backwards like he got hit with the bullet. I was like, acting.
And then they don't even have like a goodbye moment. So this is the thing. In Turner and Hooch, when this happens, Tom Hanks is crying over the dog. The dog is like slow breathing, like it is going to die, right?
And this one, they're just like, awards.
You're my friend now. Okay, right? Yeah. And you're like, I know it's alive. Like, you didn't even show it die, right?
Yeah.
But they pan over to, like, a couple weeks later when Fowler's getting a medal for no reason. But it's like a medal that you get in elementary school.
Right.
It's like on the super cheap ribbon.
Yeah.
And,
it's going to fall
But
apart.
I don't understand why he's getting the medal.
He solved something.
He
Because I
solved
guess he technically
a case.
wasn't a cop at the time. So I was like, ooh, citizen, woo.
Is that
Doesn't,
what
I don't
you'd
know.
say? No.
But then, like, as he's like, the real person that should be accepting this award I wish could be here. And then, like, of course, you see Cho-Cho walk out of the vehicle, and he's like, Cho-Cho's here. Cho-Cho really deserves it. Cho-Cho.
Right.
And then
everybody's clapping for Cho-Cho. And
we cut to our final
this is the
scene.
part. This is the part 2 where I wrote, why is it every time that I think that Jaime Pressly's hot, she goes and then does a scene where she has like some sort of cornrows of some sort?
I don't know.
Why does this happen? Like, I think she's a gorgeous girl, and then she always like, it's like My Name is Earl is engraved in her somewhere,
real.
right? Where I'm like, oh, you really are white trash, right? Because also, let me ask you, did you see I, Tonya?
No.
Oh man, like I kind of think that if Margot Robbie didn't do it, that would be my other pick. Like I was like, perfect. Actually,
they
probably
look really
maybe even
similar.
more. They look well. It wasn't about looks for me as much as like attitude and going back to that whole like kind of white trailer trash where I'm like, I don't think she's acting sometimes. Like she's not in this at all.
Yeah.
But like almost all the time, it's like that's why they picked her.
Right.
You know, everybody saw her back from Not Another Teen Movie. There's a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Her and the other guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, every time I see her, I'm like, oh, you're strangely white trash hot. So
then we get our final scene where it's like a celebration after party, and Cho-Cho's singing a song.
Gee, what a surprise. It's just like every other fucking kids animal movie where there's going to be this like musical singing montage, but it's a song that no child would know.
I didn't even know it.
Chantilly Lace?
No.
Chantilly Lace. Ba-ba-ba-da-bow.
I don't.
Ba-da-da-dow.
You can keep singing it, but I just
I know.
said I don't
I was
know
singing it for everybody else because if you don't know it, I guarantee at least half our audience doesn't know either. But that's what it is.
And then,
wait a nothing in the world like a big-eyed girl to make me. That's my money, Patrick. That one? No? You still no? Oh, that's right. You did watch it. So
yeah. I'm here.
Oh, baby, that's what I like.
And then,
but nobody. Kids aren't going to know this.
No,
right? Why is that the song? I think it's another Chevy Chase choice.
They could get the rights to probably,
maybe,
or a Chevy Chase
but
song.
This is the end of and they're singing, and the dogs are playing instruments, and nobody's really even that amazed.
Yeah, they're all like, "Okay, cool. Where are the strings?" And that's it. Then we get like a country song about like Cho-Cho's such a good karate dog.
Yeah,
like, and that's it.
Yeah, it is. I don't think he ever says the word karate, but he says Cho-Cho.
Yeah,
it's like Cho-Cho in the neighborhood, karate dog.
So stupid.
And you're like, why? This song's not appropriate at all.
Yeah,
like for any of this. So okay. The one and only bit of trivia that I could find is that this is sadly the final film of director Bob Clark. Mm-hmm. Bob Clark is actually famous for good movies such as 1974's Black Christmas, A Christmas Story, which we all know and love, that plays 24/7 on TBS every year, Porky's and Porky's 2. Oh. Okay, and Turk 182. So he actually has a lot of good stuff under his belt.
Yeah.
And this is how he went out.
Oh, poor guy.
Right? So W's?
Maybe like if a kid seems interested in something stupid, I'd put it on just to make them pay attention to something while I didn't pay attention to the child. It's literally it.
I don't want my child even watching this. Like bad. It's just... It's not Son of Mask bad, but it's like 1 star up. Like it's just, it's not fun or funny.
Yeah.
And it could have been. Even for a kid's movie, it could have been cute, adorable, but it's not. So my W's are never. No. My W's are N's. They're no, never, not now. Do you have any alternate titles for this?
Shitty.
Shitty dog. They're like, well, yeah, that's obvious. Or taglines, anything like.
No, I don't. I literally like. I put this on. I stared at it sometimes, but other than that, I was like, you can easily tell what this movie's going to be, what it's going to be about, and you don't actually need to see it ever.
No bark, no bite.
Yeah, real.
You'll get the shit beat out of you. It's just like,
Not even good.
right. So yeah, that just about does it for us. Except that we do have some reviews. Okay, these are some people seem to think that this movie was a good movie, so we'd like to give them their little 5 minutes of fame here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Give Me 5. So, this first one was written, it's 5 out of 5 stars on Amazon by a Miss Lee. Miss Lee. She writes, and this is December 11th, 2016, she writes, Karate Grandson, age 10, enjoyed movie. Thank you. Thank you. Karate Grandson, age 10, enjoy movie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So stupid.
Next one, also Amazon, 5 out of 5 stars by Stephen Crawford, titled Karate Dog is funny. It allows you to partner with imagination while ... He writes, Karate Dog is funny. It allows you to partner with imagination while you help save the world. I cracked up because you found these, and like I was like, is it literally going to be the same thing?
They're really dumb.
A dog is a person's best friend, but in this case, also the world's. 5 stars.
So dumb.
The next two are IMDb. Okay. Title by Pepper Wan 29, May 2006, titled One of the Best. She writes, one of the best movies I have seen in a long time. It held suspense, it was funny, and in a way, sad when the dog got shot. It was family-oriented, all could watch. It kept us on edge, and I could not leave the movie. Karate Dog was a great name for this movie. The way the dog moved was so real. What? False. Its talking was real.
No.
What? And the way he even mouthed the words. The detective work was unprecedented and kept me wondering if they could do their job.
What?
The other animals made it more real. Animals make the movie, I believe, and it did my heart good to see a man in a muzzle as they put on dogs. It looked well on him, and the dog guard was even better. Callan wrote this, didn't she? So our last one comes from a Chi Bonev 27, written on March 2011.
Have fun on this one. It's hilarious.
Title, When Does Karate Cat Come Out? Okay. Karate Dog changed my life. I must know what Karate Dog is up to now. I know he must be fighting crime and kicking the crap out of bad guys somewhere. He is amazing. My favorite part was when the dog party, not the one at the end. My second favorite part was Jon Voight racing the dogs on the track. My third favorite part was Mr. Miyagi's role as Karate Dog Sensei. My fourth favorite part was when Karate Dog was feeding lines to Detective Jackass when he was on his date with Jaime Pressly. My fifth favorite part was Karate Dog and Jon Voight were fighting on the roof and Karate Dog kicked his ass. My sixth favorite part was when Karate Dog was being interrogated by police and remained silent. Ha ha. My seventh favorite part was when Karate Dog was driving the detective's car and crashed it into a pond. My eighth favorite part was when Jon Voight drinking the neon juice and acting all young and vibrant. Funny stuff. My ninth favorite part was when babies tried to steal the van from the daycare center. Oh wait, that's my second favorite movie, Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2. See my review there, it's great, which was also directed by this director. My ninth favorite part from Karate Dog, was every time Chevy Chase said something funny, which was always.
Wrong. Very, very wrong.
My 10th favorite part was when they blew up all those computers by inserting a CD, and closely following that, actually before that, I enjoyed Karate Dog doing in their Mission Impossible style to copy the CD in the first place. Need I say more? Come on, folks. This is comedic genius. Every time it's on Showtime or HBO, I watch it, eyes glued to the screen. And seriously, when is Karate Cat coming out? 10 stars. That was great.
That was hilarious.
I think I want you to start finding the reviews, or like we'll trade off.
Ninth favorite part
That was
from a different movie.
amazing.
So stupid.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that just about does it for us. We hope you enjoyed Karate Dog as much as we didn't.
Yeah.
You can find us on all our social networks. You can reach out to us at Bombs Away Show, and that's on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We have a lot more things going on Instagram now. I'm sharing stories on like a daily basis. So like if you like a little bit of Snapchat in your life, but we're never gonna go to Snapchat, there you go. Like I'm sharing like the films that we're watching, films that I'm going out and seeing. Jared, I recommend you do the same thing.
See movies? No.
No,
I'll
just
never
or
watch a
whatever
movie.
you're watching in your bedroom, like anything like that. It's all gonna be on our story. It's a little bit of a peek into our lives. We'll do a couple snaps of us in the studio and things like that. So if you want to
watching Scooby Doo or Gone Girl for the 80th time,
hey, that's fine. You know, I did like a 20 snap like rendition of last night's 1985's Jim Carrey classic Once Bitten, right? Where I tell an entire story of how I dreamed of doing the dance scene from that. Yeah, you should check it out.
Well, go there.
It's that portion is actually going to be highlighted on Jonathan's stories. There's going to be a Jarrett stories, and there's also going to be like highlights of like this week on Bombs Away. So you can get all that on iTunes. On Instagram. Also, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. And if there's a movie, we're taking suggestions for our summertime celebrations, honestly. So if there's a movie that you really want to see done, make sure that you contact us on any of their social networks or contact at Bombs Away Show. Next week, coming up for Starship Frida, there are still a couple tickets available for the Frida Cinema, our home here in Santa Ana. Starship Frida is a Dusk Till Dawn movie marathon based on sci-fi classics. So the first movie will be Solaris, the last movie will be Bruce Willis in The Fifth Element, and everything else in between will be a surprise. But I'm telling you right now, it's on May the 4th, so hint, hint. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we will be at that event, so come and see us. It's only $20. $20 for an entire like Dusk Till Dawn marathon full of events. The entire movie theater is going to be themed out. It's going to be great. Come, stay as long as you can. If you make it all the way to the end, there's going to be a special prize. So, that is on May the 4th. Okay? That's a Friday, correct? Yeah, May the 4th.
Maybe.
And because of that, we are doing next week, tune in for The Caravan of Courage, the Ewok Adventure. Yes, it's one of two made-for-television movies based on the Ewoks from everybody's Return of the Jedi favorite, which you don't exactly know if this movie was supposed to take place before or after Jedi, but we're going to try to figure it out. Right. So that will be next week on the show, and then stay tuned for Mother's Day on Mother's Day.
I have seen Star Wars, so
yeah, nice.
Doing something right.
Mother's Day for Mother's Day, and then there's a lot of other things coming down the pike, so make sure that you stay tuned to all of our social networks and keep that ear open. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us, and thank you for listening. My name is Jonathan.
I am Jarrett.
And was there even a catchphrase? Hey guys, John here from the Bombs Away podcast, and I'm here to talk to you about what we always wind up talking to you about, the Frida Cinema. But there's a reason. It's not only our home, but it's an amazing venue. Now, I know what you're asking. What is the Frida Cinema? Well, It's a program of the Long Beach Cinematheque here in California, and it serves Santa Ana and neighboring communities as a non-profit art house cinema dedicated to enriching, connecting, and educating communities through the art of cinema. Now, how does it do that? Well, I'll tell you. It has amazing directors series such as Martin Scorsese or Mel Brooks. Oh my God, when's the last time you saw a Mel Brooks movie on the big screen? Young Frankenstein, High Anxiety, Blazing Saddles? There's so much. Or what about Lloyd Kaufman, which has amazing films that we'll be doing on this podcast, such as Toxic Avenger or Class of Nukem High? Or how about Friday Night Freakouts presented by OC Weekly? That is something that we do here every Friday night. And we're talking about crazy sci-fi or horror or just off-the-wall things such as the 70s musical, The Apple, or how about Hackers or Lost Boys or Child's Play? These are the kind of movies that screen here. And what if those aren't your thing? What about anime? Well, we have the huge hit Your Name that just came out. Or what about the classic Akira? Yes, Akira was screened here with subtitles or without subtitles, your choice. What about, if anime's not your thing, how about double features such as Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead? And you can't really be an art house cinema without getting those kind of indie feature films such as Moonlight, which was Academy Award winner, best film. Right here, before it was even nominated. It was right here. Or what about The Void, which is on Netflix? Or just amazing cinema, and it's all right here. For more information about the Frida, showtimes, location, everything, film and entertainment, go to thefridacinema.org. Or follow them on Facebook at facebook.com/thefridacinema. Or on Instagram and Twitter at the Frida Cinema. The Frida Cinema. It's for the filmmakers. It's for the film goers. It's for you.
This has been a production of Big Bulb Entertainment, executive produced by Jonathan Young. For more media and information, visit us at www.bigbulbentertainment.com. Big Bulb, what's your bright idea?